Hello. It's the awkward part where you wait for people to join. Hey everybody. Hey, 4 people, 21 people. Oh, 1 from 4 to 37. Nice. How you guys doing this evening? It's been a while since I came on here, and I realized I've really been not promoting this as much as I normally do because I've been juggling so many different things. But I definitely wanted to make sure everybody knew about it before Sunday because I've been doing these special series of concerts here in New York and around the country, and just it's been so fun just exploring all these different aspects of music and music that I love, and kind of going back to my college major at USC. I was a studio jazz guitar major, and I only went to the school for 1 year. It was quite expensive, as people know, private school over there. And so I took the gamble of what is it worth? Kind of should I try to spend whatever the heck the tuition was, or try to make like a quarter of that? I don't know, but I do oftentimes miss. There are a lot of things that I would have loved to continue learning at the school, and so this process of learning all these other musicians' music, especially as a guitar player, and obviously as a singer too, but because that was my major, it's been really exciting to learn all these different styles. And so this week I'm doing a concert dedicated to Prince, who is one of my biggest influences, and I think it's here in New York City at the Green Room 42, but you can get a live stream ticket as well. And I haven't really posted a whole lot about it yet, but I'm hoping to see you guys there, whoever is available at that time. But it's 7 p.m. on Sunday night, August 18th. So this Sunday night, and at the Green Room 42. And the link is in my bio. So if you are in New York, or if you want to get a live stream ticket, if you're not in New York, you can do that through my bio. Thanks. Eva got this for me in Old Town San Diego. Yeah, wait, can someone please explain this to me? Very demure. What is that from? Very demure, very respectful. What is that? I keep seeing that on social media and have no idea what it is or where it came from. Hello, Argentina. So wait, someone explain, what is it? Eva's great. What is the... she's doing a show right now. Well, she's about to start. Just had the half-hour call. Oh, I love the Impractical Jokers. Actually, not only do I love them, I know them. I haven't seen them in a few years now, but crazy story about the Impractical Jokers. So, anybody on here, you guys, I know I can't hear you respond, but respond in the comments. Do you guys love the Impractical Jokers as much as I do? So I had watched maybe 2 episodes of their show, and it was really embarrassing when I first met them. They probably don't remember this, but now they'll know if they see this. But they waited at the stage door. I don't know exactly why. I don't think it had to do with me, but they were waiting at the stage door. By the time I got out there, and they looked vaguely familiar because I had just seen 1 or 2 episodes of their show on True TV. And this was in 2012, so it was pretty new at that point. I think it was the fall of 2012, and this is hilarious. I was and I said to him, "You guys look familiar," and they're like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Yeah, have I met you before?" And they're like, "Oh, well, we have a show called The Impractical Jokers." I was like, "Oh my gosh, I just saw you guys." And then I said, "Yeah, I saw the episode where you guys have the earpiece in your ear, and then one of you goes out, and then the other 3 are talking to him in the earpiece. Remember that episode?" And they're like, "Yeah." Because I'd only seen 1 episode, maybe 2. I think 1, honestly. And so I didn't realize that was the show, which is the greatest. I've watched I think I've watched all of seasons 1 through 4. Because the only reason I haven't seen all the rest, I'm trying to remember which ones, is I was traveling and didn't have the cable thing. So I love the Impractical Jokers. You guys, if you haven't watched their show, you gotta check them out. But very, very funny. Oh wait, I didn't tell another funny part of the story. So after that, they're like, "What are you doing tonight?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "You want to hang out?" I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So then we went to this place near the Spider-Man theater, because it was at that stage where it's not there anymore, but it's a restaurant, a barbecue restaurant called Southern Hospitality. And after that, Joe Gatto says, "Wait, you want to go dancing?" I'm like, I don't really want to dance, but I'll go with you guys. So we went to this place called the Culture Club, which was like a Boy George themed dance club, which was hilarious. I think it closed sadly during the pandemic, but that was a wild night. Very fun. So yeah. I don't think anyone's ever asked me about them in the live before. That's cool. Oh yeah, see, someone's asking about the set list. I'm tempted. I don't know whether I should say yes or no. For those of you just joining, I'm playing a set of all Prince's music this Sunday night, August 18th, at the Green Room 42 at 7 p.m. here in New York City. But there's a live stream option available if you don't live in New York. It's my first time doing this like this. I did a few of Prince's songs, like maybe half of the amount that I'm doing here. I think I'm able to fit in like 11 songs in like a 75 to 90 minute set. But with all of the stuff I had planned. But at Black Rabbit Rose in California and in LA, I did something. This was probably like 6 years ago now, I think. But it wasn't to the extent of what this one is. So it's been a long time since I played any of his music. Yeah, I love Jeff Buckley. I'm supposed to play him in a film. I don't know if they're going to make it, but I hope they do. I've had that part for a long time now, so we'll see. Jophius and Meridici. Yeah, that's good. Bulgarian music, that's cool. Chicago. You know what? Eve and I are playing a concert in Detroit, which is as close to Chicago as I think will be. Actually, there are two things. Eve and I are playing in Detroit on October 5th at the Cabaret 313 in Detroit, and I'm playing 3 solo shows in the Indianapolis area. If you guys happen to live near there, those are all next month. I believe the dates are September 12th, 13th, and 14th. The 13th and 14th of September are in Indianapolis proper at a place called The Cabaret. And the 12th is in an area in Columbus, Indiana. Just like, I think it's like 45 minutes away. So if you happen to live near there, I don't think either one of those are live streamed, but if you happen to be in Detroit or Indianapolis, those are the closest gigs that I have to Chicago this year at the moment. Oh, wow, you got cast in Hades sound. That's awesome. What is I know they have a lot of productions now, so I don't even know which one it would be. Perform in London anytime soon? I'm not aware of that, but who knows? Be cool. It's tricky to. I have to find the right sort of. For me to play in London, like just concerts, I would say the ideal setup would be like a fairly large place if it's a one night only thing, or maybe a sit down thing where I'm playing for like 3 to 5, 3 shows to 7, like it's like for a week or something, you know, half a week or a week. Then that could make sense with just the transport of all the equipment and all that. It's a little bit complicated. Go on tour. Yeah, I've been to Australia. I played the Blues and Roots Festival in Byron Bay, but it's been a long time since I played there. Yeah, I'm not I'm not touring at the moment in the way I have in the past, where I've gotten in a van or a bus and toured around the country. But I'm doing a lot of fly dates. So for those of you who live in Los Angeles, I've got a concert in LA on October 20th. It's a night of all Rocky Horror I'm doing a one-man cabaret concert version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's October 20th in LA at the Bourbon Room, Hollywood. Then October 18th, Friday, October 18th, I'm playing the Rocky Horror the same setup at a place called The Space in Las Vegas, just off the Strip, or on the Strip, I think. So that's the 18th of October. Then I'm going backwards here in order, but October 11th and 12th, I believe, I'm playing at Feinstein's at the Nico in San Francisco. That's also, I'm doing this whole theme thing in October with Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I'm really excited about it, because it feels like the perfect month to do that, you know. Then I'm doing that. I'm also doing that show here in New York towards the end of that month. But yeah, so those are the out of town gigs. I think I'm also doing a really fun thing. Randy Newman's Faust. Do you guys know that concept album and musical? I'm gonna be doing that in Los Angeles at, I think it's called the Sorolla. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's at CSUN. I think it's on the CSUN campus, or connected to it, Cal State University Northridge. And that is September 28th and 29th, I think. I'm really excited about that too. I don't know when I'm going to be close to Portland. San Francisco is probably the closest to Portland that I have at the moment. That's planned so far for this year. Let me see here. Oh yeah, the Broadway cruise is awesome. Yes, late October, New York City. So Warren, is that how I pronounce your name? I think that is October. I have to confirm the date, but it's either October 25th or it's like around there. I think it's the 25th. The Rocky Horror Picture Show, one-man cabaret concert version that I'm doing, that's in New York. So if you're in New York, then I'll be doing that then. They haven't put that on sale yet, but yeah, I've never been to Alaska. That's the only state in the United States that I have not been to at this point. I've been everywhere else in the U.S. Well, every other state, not every city within every state, but. Oh, any advice for growing falsetto voice? The best advice I would give, the things that maybe some people don't talk about, sleep and diet are very important. And it doesn't mean that you have to eat healthily in the way that someone else tells you have to. That's important to a degree, but everyone is different. So, definitely listening to your body is the most important thing with all of that, I think. And then, taking the recommendation of people who know what they're talking about. But, I guess what I'm saying is like, I'm not saying you have to be fully vegan or something like that. I think about doing that a lot. I'm not that, but I respect people who are able to do that. But just things that feel good for your body. But I would say in terms of technique, besides like taking lessons regularly, I'd say you want to really start light. Don't push it. This is not a resonating chamber, this area, so like there's a certain amount of vibration you feel here, but you don't want it to go beyond, you don't want too much pressure here, especially for a long period of time. There are certain sounds that you might want to create that require a little bit more pressure there, and that's a whole different thing, but for like a strong, I would really call it more connected head voice. Than falsetto, it kind of implies more open vocal folds, more aspiration, more air. Whereas like for Hades' sound, because you mentioned that there's a lot of falsetto in there, but I would say the majority of it is a connected head voice in that show. Taking it so slowly, trying to keep the vowels bright. Yeah, brightness definitely helps. I would say, yeah, you want to do it in the safest way you can, and making it bright initially is is very helpful with that. I would say like adding the darkness afterwards tends to be a safer approach, I would say, than the other way around. At least that's in my experience. So I'd say, yeah, when you have a really high thing, getting it forward and bright, and then coloring it in a darker way after you have the placement without any pressure here, is good. But the rings. Someone asked me about the rings. Yeah, these are all my mom's rings. FablesInTheAir.com. They're amazing. I've had these particular ones for probably 12 years, and they look as good as they looked the first day I got them. But yeah, I love them. Do I know when I'm going to be back in LA after October 20? I don't know. No, I don't. I would say if I'd like to play there more regularly. So if I had to, I'm going to hopefully speak with the venue and see if maybe I could set something up for the spring. That would be kind of ideal. So we'll see if that would be great. Got to get through that first one first and hopefully sell that out, and then they'll hopefully be excited to have me back there. So that would be great. But yeah, I don't have plans yet. Favorite Prince song? You know what's funny, actually? One of my favorite Prince songs I'm not playing in the show because I based this off of a few things. My favorite songs, the songs people know, and not all songs people know necessarily, but a lot of them, and then also things that I think will function well with a one-man situation. And a lot of that has to do with lyrics too, because one of my not just lyrics, but the clarity of that storytelling. I mean, a lot of the songs I picked to play solo kind of lean in that realm a little bit more, I guess. But one of my favorite Prince songs is a song off of Musicology called Illusion, Coma, Pimp, and Circumstance. If you haven't heard that, definitely check that out. It wasn't available for streaming until a few years ago, I don't think. That's amazing. Oh, someone, your friend's auditioning for Orpheus advice. I honestly don't even know what to say because from what I've observed, every person they've cast in that role and the other roles is totally different from any of us, and so I don't know what they're looking for. That's what I would say. Do I have plans to return to the theater soon? Not necessarily. I mean, I'd be happy to for the right project. But I think with theater, it's I'm not the type of performer who I have a lot of interests. I guess I put it that way. And so, right now, it's been really amazing being able to explore so many of my interests that I don't have time to explore when I'm doing 8 shows a week. So I'm not really someone who's like, oh, please, get me back in the... I can't wait till the next show. I would be very happy to be in another show. But I guess I'm keeping myself busy, I guess is what I'm saying. But and I haven't... There's been nothing on my radar yet that's been like, ooh, I gotta really, yeah. So I don't know. I'd like to, but... Oh yeah, Vivian's. Wait, hey Keith, I didn't really see you. Yeah, we went there once in January. I took Eva there finally. Yeah, if you guys are in LA, you got to go to Vivian's Millennium Cafe. It's awesome. It's a really beautiful outdoor. Well, it's indoor and outdoor, but it's got a really beautiful garden outdoor area. It's like an all-day breakfast restaurant, but it also serves lunch and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I love working on Penny Dreadful. It was awesome. Can I sing El Tango de Roxanne? Is that from Moulin Rouge? I don't know. I've seen like a clip of like a 15-second clip of that, I think, online. I haven't seen Moulin Rouge yet. Oh, I'm not. Hey Dom, no, I'm not in LA yet, but I'm gonna be in LA in October. Favorite instrument to perform with? I love them all, but I mean, guitar I have the most training on. Yeah, so it is from Moulin Rouge, but I guess what I'm wondering is, because I know the song Roxanne, but what makes that different from the song Roxanne? Is it a mashup of two songs? Or because I'm a big Police fan too. Actually, I thought about doing that soon too, like a Sting and the Police, or Sting / Police, because I grew up loving Sting. He's one of my favorite singers. How many years? I've been playing guitar for, how old am I now? I've been playing guitar for, yeah. When it gets to, in December, I will have been playing guitar for 30 years. But singing, I've been singing probably longer than that, but I also took some breaks from that because when I started playing guitar, I really, well, part of it is that I both of my parents are singers. My mom's trained from, actually, she went to CCM, Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music, for majoring in musical theater. And so she told me early on, you don't want to train too much prior to your voice changing. And I think that was great advice. So, I mean, I sang in choirs, but there wasn't like proper technique instruction until after my voice changed. And so that was a good, I think it's a very good thing. But so what's my point in that? I forget what even the question, now I'm forgetting why I even said that. Oh, how long I've been singing, that's why, yeah. So yeah, but I've been singing since I was like really like, probably before I knew English. I think that's kind of normal though. Like, you know, you can make sounds before you can speak words. And if you grow up around singers, then you're likely to mimic them, and you can probably mimic the pitch before you can mimic the word. So I think, you know. The only advice, someone mentioned Eurydice too, about auditioning for that, the only advice I would give to anybody auditioning for any part in that show is to know the material so well that you can spend most of your time listening. I mean, that's like the advice I would give for any job, really. But that show's kind of complicated in that way, because there's a lot of stuff that, I would say the majority of the show, the impact of being inside one of those characters, the impact that you have as a performer within one of those characters, the majority of that impact comes from things that are not on the page, in my opinion. And so there's a lot of work that has to be done in that way. So learning the stuff, getting it so it's just, you know, you can just repeat it robotically. You know, not, you don't want to do that when you're performing. I'm just saying, like, so that you can fill it with everything needed to lift all of that up. That's the best advice I could give. But for an audition, that's the unfair part. It's like impossible to do that. Not impossible. It's not easy, and I don't know that I've ever been to that point at the stage of an audition. I mean, you don't only have so much time to prepare for all that, but once you have the job, then you can really, really prepare in the rehearsal process, and even before you get to the rehearsal room. Oh, if there was a Spider-Man meet of all the actors who played him, would I go? Yeah. If they, I mean, people keep asking me about the Into the Spider-Verse and all these different things, films that had like they asked me, hey, why aren't you in it? Or I would love to be in it. If they had asked me to do it, I absolutely would have done it. But I just assume that there's so many more. I mean, I did Spider-Man for 3 years. I personally performed 840 shows, because I had an alternate named Matthew James Thomas in that show who did Saturday matinee and Wednesday matinee. And so I was there for like 1,200 performances roughly, but I only did 840 during that time. But even with that, if you think about how big that theater was, we're still only looking at like less than 2 million people that probably saw that show live. Whereas like opening weekend of any of those Spider-Man movies, I mean, I don't even know how many people see that in like opening weekend. So I think my assumption is that the Marvel people either wanted to, well, whatever. I assume it was probably because they just assumed not enough people would have any idea who the Broadway Spider-Man is, maybe, I guess. But I would love, if they asked me to, yeah, I would have loved to. Certainly. Thanks for the petition. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I actually auditioned for the Spider-Man film. I think Andrew Garfield already had the part, but I think that's the impression I got. But I think they wanted to see me last minute because they're like, "Who's this guy?" Like he just got this Broadway show, you know. So, but Andrew, oddly enough, Andrew and I have the same acting teacher, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah. Passing through Mexico. I haven't been to Mexico in a long time. Well, on vacation even. I went a few years ago, but I haven't played there in a long time. Oh, pedal business is going. I'm available to make them. I'm kind of staying off social media with it at the moment, just because I've had so much other work to do that I'm kind of only making them as needed, and I'm trying not to promote it as much right now, just for that reason. But just because promoting it takes time as well, and so now it's like, but I'm stocked for like whatever people need, you know. I would be surprised. You never know. I mean, I just heard someone say that there are rumors that Jared Leto is replacing me in the Jeff Buckley. I'd be surprised by that, because he's older than I am. But I think, yeah, I haven't heard that. That would surprise me, because you'd have to make a very different film in that way, since, you know, Jeff only lived to be a certain age, sadly. So it's like, I don't know. I haven't heard that, but I would be surprised. How do I come up with different cabaret themes? Mine are fairly simple for the most part, because I'm able to. Thankfully, people are cool with me. They like this idea as much as I do, which is great. I think it seems, which is just like find an artist that I admire and really explore the depths of their. Well, there's so much you could do, but explore their catalog in a way that, you know, I can kind of bring to life in my own way, but that honors them. And that's what I've been doing with a bunch of my favorite artists. So I did a Beatles one, which was amazing. That was a double. That was insane, because I learned 30 songs for that, which was even hard to pick just 30 Beatles songs. And then after that, I did the Michael Jackson show. And then this Sunday, again, if you're just joining, I'm performing a set of all Prince's music at the Green Room 42 on Sunday, August 18th, here in New York City. And you can get a live stream ticket for that. So yeah, yeah. I don't have any tattoos. Nope. Partially because I'm a rock and roll musician, and most of them have tattoos, and I felt like it was more rock and roll than I'd have tattoos because I'm a rock and roll musician, if that makes any sense. Might not start a band on the side. I've had many bands, but it's a bit. The thing is, I'm very particular about a lot of things, and also I want to be able to deliver a tight, show for people. And most of the people that I play with, especially in our band Carney, they don't live in New York right now, so it would be complicated flying everyone in and then rehearsing enough to get it to be that tight. Whereas when I'm responsible for all of that stuff, it's I can spend as long as I want, on my own, which is what I do for these shows. Oh yeah, Jimi Hendrix. Yeah. I actually bought this at Guitar Center, which is kind of funny. They sell mugs. I love it so much. I've actually repaired it. You can see the crack. Yeah, I'm a big Jeff Buckley fan. I mean, the thing is, oddly enough, I was told, the way I found out about Jeff Buckley, I was 16. Sadly, he had passed away 2 years before that. I had not heard of him until 2 years after his passing, sadly. Crazily enough, I'll tell you that after, but my friend Marion Hodges, who's a DJ in LA, but at that time we were 15, 16-year-old kids, and she said, have you ever heard of Jeff Buckley? I'm like, huh? No, I haven't heard of him. She's like, you got to come over to my house right now. So I went over there, and she put in Mystery White Boy, which is this DVD that he had of him. I think it was live at the Metro in Chicago. And she's like, you guys look so similar. He could be your brother or something. And I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting, yeah. So that's how I found out about him. But obviously became a fan immediately because he's one of the greatest singers in the world, So I love great singers. Who doesn't? But especially if you are a singer, you would, of course, love great singers. So yeah. Even I loved Merrily We Roll Along, which is not, it closed. We saw its closing weekend. But yeah, we loved that. How long have I been playing piano? I started, so thankfully we had a piano in our apartment in here in the city. I grew up in New York, and we had an upright, a white Yamaha upright, which I always loved, and it always reminded me of John Lennon. So I started playing. I mean, I was playing on that piano, and then other family members had pianos in their houses, and so there are photos of me at the piano when I was like a year and a half old or 2 years old, just kind of messing around, whatever, just hitting keys. But I started taking lessons when I was 8 and took them for a few years, but I really didn't get it. It wasn't until I was just about 12 when I picked up a guitar that got me like basically when I would have my piano lessons, I wouldn't pretty much ever practice the stuff that I was supposed to practice during the week. So the lesson would come and I'd be like, oh, hello, oh yes, did you practice? I'm like, a little bit, and I barely had practice. Whereas with guitar, I was obsessive about practicing from the beginning. So I remember the summer of '97 when I was 14. I remember literally I was in my room for 8 hours, and I kind of do the same thing now whenever I can. But I was in my room for 8 hours a day practicing the entire summer when I was out of school. So that's the kind of thing. You kind of have to be self-motivated for that, and I was much more that way with guitar. But now I write a lot of music on piano. So, how did I get into acting? So I also was acting at a young age. Around that same time I started taking piano lessons, I told my parents I wanted to be an actor, because I had a friend who moved to LA because he was an actor. I don't know if that's why. Also, I was people used to think I was Macaulay Culkin when I was a kid. If you could find a really old picture of me, you might see what they were thinking. But so when Home Alone came out, I would pretty regularly get stopped on the street and have people come up to me, especially tourists that didn't speak English. They just walk up to me and go oh, which is pretty funny. And so that would happen to me all the time. And I guess that maybe got it in my head oh yeah, that'd be kind of fun to be an actor. But also actually I should say that's not even the full story. I was a very shy kid, and so my mom she put me into improv acting classes when I was 5, because it was like a fun thing to do. It was mainly about, loosening up and like, yeah. So which improv kind of is about in a lot of ways. But we got to wear crazy costumes, makeup, like all kinds of stuff. So I started doing that when I was 5, and so by the time I was 8, I had experience acting. So like in class. So yeah, that's when I said I wanted to do that, and then I worked really. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get my first like big acting job until I was 14, and that was Snow Falling on Cedars, where I played Ethan Hawke as a kid, and during that. At that point, I had kind of already decided that I wanted to quit acting, which was hilarious. So like, because I'd been playing guitar then for like 2 years, a little more than that, and I was obsessed with the guitar already, probably almost 3 years at that point, and so I really wanted to focus on that, because back in the 90s, it was like kind of frowned upon to be like a rock and roll musician and an actor. People would think like, oh, they're probably not good at one of them, or whereas now it's like people almost. It's just not that way, thankfully. Like, people seem to be, really excited when you do both of those things. But yeah, I've been doing both of them since I was a little kid, I guess I'd say. Trying to catch up on some of these. Someone asked about the Orpheus costume. I would say there is one thing. I think you might have gotten them. Sometimes they're not using them anymore, but the suspenders were copies. Well, I mean they're my exact suspenders that I wore like kind of regularly for like probably 6 or 7 years. And I still wear them, but like I have a lot of different ones that I like to wear. But they're, if you look them up, I think on Amazon you can get them. They're shotgun. If you type in shotgun 12 gauge suspenders, I think is what it is. Like they're leather, but there's like a shotgun. I'm not a gun person at all, but it's just they look cool, But I got them at a store called Quality Mending Company in. Down on like Mott Street and Prince Street in Manhattan, and but they're not. I don't think I think they reopened somewhere else, but during the pandemic I think they closed and then reopened. But I got those there in like 2011, I think. Thank you. Rocky Horror was so fun. Yeah, if you're just joining, I am playing I'm doing something really fun in October where it's a one-man show concert cabaret concert version, I guess I say, of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I'm doing it in San Francisco at Feinstein's at the Nico on October 11th and 12th. And then the following week, Friday, October 18th at the Space in Las Vegas. And then 2 nights later, I'm doing that show in Los Angeles at the Bourbon Room Hollywood on October 20th. And then in New York, I'll be doing it the next week. I think yeah. I might leave here soon, you guys, because I think there might not be too many more questions coming in, but I appreciate you guys. And yeah, again, Sunday night, I'm gonna get back to practicing actually, but Sunday night, this Sunday, August 18th at the Green Room 42 here in New York City, I'm playing a set of all Prince's music, and I'd love to see you there or see you via live stream, so you can get those through the link in my bio. But thank you guys so much for coming on here, and hope to see you soon. All right. I always forget how I'm supposed to end this. Oh, there we go. All right. Have a great night.